Today's lesson is basically a continuation on from 8.5. It is going to be lesson 46. What you'll look at today is that A is basically not going to be equal to 1. So you're going to be completing the square again. Again, this table will be your friend. The only thing that you need to be able to do is step 1 today. So you're actually including in step 1. Most of us are actually becoming pretty good and pretty efficient at not even looking at the table. We became pretty familiar with it yesterday using steps 2 to 7. So basically you just need to add into step 1 today because A is not going to be 1. So we'll finish up with example 6 in our guided notes here. And we know that A value is not 1. If you look at your trinomial here, you'll see that A is actually 3. So using our steps again, step 1 is basically to get A1. In order to do that, you need to divide both sides by A. In this case, you need to divide the left side and the right side by 3. Now, when you divide sides, you need to do it to the entire side. So each one of these terms is actually being divided by 3. When you divide both sides by 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1, which would basically give you 1x squared or x squared. Negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3, and then we put the x. And negative 3 divided by 3 is negative 1. 21 divided by 3 is 7. You just completed step 1. Now you're jumping to step 2, and step 2 should be old news. This is basically what you worked through yesterday. So in step 2, we need to get rid of our c term, in this case the negative 1, so we need to add 1 to both sides. Rewrite our equation, x squared minus 3x minus 1. Your next step in step 3 is you need to take half of the b term. When you take half of the b term, you wind up with negative 3 halves or 3 halves. Step 4, you need to square what you had in step 3. So half of b squared is 9/4. Whether you had negative 3 halves or positive 3 halves, you wind up with 9/4. Step 5, you need to add the result from step 4. So in this case, we need to add 9/4. Add 9/4 to both sides. We rewrite our equation. We wind up with x squared minus 3x plus 9/4 equals 41/4. Okay. The next step we need to do is actually factor the side that is quadratic. In this case, it would be the left side again. Minus plus is minus minus. We wind up with x minus 3 halves, and x minus 3 halves equals 41/4. This next step here, I just rewrote it as x minus 3 halves squared. To get rid of the square, we square root both sides. After we square root both sides, we wind up with x minus 3 halves equals plus a negative 3.2. In order to get x alone, you need to add 3 halves to both sides. When you add 3 halves to both sides, you get x alone on the left side. Here you have a positive 3.2 plus 3 halves. You wind up with a positive 4.7. You also need to take the negative 3.2 plus 3 halves, and you wind up with negative 1.7. So again, 2 answers here. This concludes lesson 46, 8.5, completing the square when A is not 1.